Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. We're still talking about that. But there's a reason. There's a reason for talking about that. And that is that a lot of people are talking about an Ngannou-Fury rematch. And the fact that Fury needs that in order to re-establish his legacy. I mean, his legacy has, without question, been dented by Ngannou. His legacy, which he claims he doesn't care about, he most certainly does. Tyson Fury, his stock has never been so low. If he's to regain any kind of his now damaged luster, he's going to have to face Ngannou again and beat him convincingly. And then he can say, well, I just took him lightly and I was out of shape. And he's denied that that was the case, but the public will make that judgment. If Tyson Fury was to go in with Ngannou again and slap him around, toy with him, stop him in 3, 4, 5 rounds, people would say, okay, he took him lightly, no problem. There's just one problem with this, though, and that is that Tyson Fury has signed to fight Oleksandr Usyk not once, but twice, okay? Now, let's say that he wins both of those, both of those fights. Yeah, okay, no problem. He can fight Ngannou again, and Ngannou can, maybe if he puts up a decent performance, fair enough. But if Fury convincingly beats him, people, again, they'll say, okay, first fight was a bit of an aberration. You know, a shocker. Well done to Francis for boxing so well, but nevertheless, you know, normal service is resumed, so to speak. But if Fury loses to Usyk, be it once, maybe even twice, certainly if he loses twice, is there going to be any desire from the public to watch a second Ngannou fight? No, there isn't. There really isn't. And also, you have to bear in mind that Ngannou, in the meantime, while Fury is fighting Usyk, he said he wants to stay in boxing and not go back to MMA. That's fair enough. But who's he going to fight? He could lose. You know, his performance against Fury was absolutely magnificent for a debutant. But people have gotten carried away and they are saying, well, you know, he can beat, I don't know, Joseph Parker. You know, nothing would surprise me after Saturday. But at the same time, I would make Francis Ngannou a rank underdog compared to, if you put him in with any top 10 heavyweight in the world. A rank underdog. Just like it was on Saturday. Hey, how did that go? So Fury, he's really painted himself into a corner. And Frank Warren as well, although I suspect Fury is the one that calls the shots. Warren isn't. There is I believe it's a scene on Fury's At Home with the Furies thing where they're doing the countdown for that Joshua fight at the end of 2022, and Warren and Fury's team are saying, give it more time, we can get this over the line, give it more. And Fury's like, no, 5 o'clock, November the 7th or 11th, was it, whatever it was. No, I'm counting it down, they've got to sign the contract, they've got to do this, they've got to do that. Typical control freak, you know, mentality. Absurd mentality to have in any kind of business. So I think Fury is the one that calls the shots. I don't think Warren can tell him what to do. It's the other way around. And I suspect that it is Fury that has painted himself into this corner whereby in order to restore his legacy and his reputation as a fighter, never mind as a man, as a fighter, he's got to beat Usyk twice and then Ngannou, and he's got to beat Ngannou convincingly. In other words, the man who's made pretty much a career of dodging lots and lots of different fighters from David Price onwards, you know, somehow he's painted himself into the corner whereby, never mind dodging anything, in order to restore your reputation, you've got a mountain to climb. It's kind of ironic. I'm not a believer in karma. I think it's just, you know, wishful thinking by a different name. But this is very much like karma. The man who avoided so much, the man who tried to take the easy route, who cherry-picked, who, you know, talked an absolute load of rubbish about all sorts of things, suddenly he's found himself facing a choice. Either you allow your legacy to remain in shreds, or you climb this mountain which you didn't want to climb, and you take the difficult route. And beating Usyk twice is going to be extremely difficult. If he wins if they both win one each, there could be a third Usyk fight on the line. You just never know. You never know how things pan out. But which would postpone a rematch with Ngannou even further. But this is a tall order for Fury, especially at his age. And it just shows you how things can go wrong if you allow your ego, your desire to be an absolute control freak, your psychological quirks, shall we say, your mental health to get the better of you, the negatives that are contained within mental illness and so on. If you allow all these things, all these planets to align, it can have a very, very detrimental effect. Very detrimental, as it's done with Fury. So, yeah, I think he's got his work cut out. I think he's got a lot of work to do, if he wants to get back to where he wanted to be. Because all this crap about not caring about legacy, not caring what other people think, not caring what the public think. Yes, he does. I did a video on this a couple of days ago. He has always cared about that stuff. He's always, like any control freak, he wants to completely control the narrative. And the narrative means what other people think. Okay, so he does care. If he didn't care, I mean, someone in my comment section said, you know, the person that screams the loudest about how they don't care about something does care. Of course they do. Of course they do. So I think this is Fury, who has created an albatross for his own neck, a monkey on his back, whatever analogy you want to use. I think he's in trouble. Not to say he can't get out of it, but he's going to have to get himself into much, much better mental and physical shape. And he's got to want to do it. Because as we know, you can't play boxing. And I've got a question. Does he really want to do this? Does he really want to climb that mountain? He could have avoided it so easily. So easily. But, you know, now his reputation is around his ankles. And in order to restore it, it's a very, very long climb. A very long climb. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Thank you as always for your time. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please, please, please hit the like button. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. This is your channel as much as mine. Tell your mates to subscribe and watch. We got this. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.